Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So we shall continue from the last week lecture. At the outset, I want to point out from the Sufis, when you have achieved the status of Sufi, from these Sufis, there will be some selected by Allah to be elects. What it means is that these chosen Sufis will be given tasks by the Lord to carry out. And these are the elects. Those who are not the elects, they are still the Sufis. They're still all right. All right? They're still all right, not to worry. But if you ask me, the best part of my life is being a Sufi. But after being chosen to teach this knowledge, the privileges, the freedom, the not carrying any burden, gone. When I was Sufi, I had a lot of freedom, no burden, no task to do, just all the time zikrullah, remember Allah, and doing all the worships, whether obligatory or non-obligatory. And anonymous, nobody knows about me. Even my family members thought I'm a wayward, I'm not, or not in the midstream, a gone case, reading too much book and become haywire. Not haywire in the sense, but I'm more aloof to myself, happy with myself, happy and contented to be with the Lord. No burden, nothing. That was from 1978 to 1990, 12 years. That was the happiest part of my life. No responsibility, no burden, free. And I can OBE, astral traveling, a lot of things I could do, because I was cleansed. So when you are cleansed, your soul, spirit is clean. It can anytime come out from your body and travel and all that. It was the happy moment for me, a happy period, 12 years. I felt 12 years. And then I was given the task to teach. And then I'm grounded. And if I want to astral traveling OB, I have to get approval, Because when you are given the task to teach, the learning comes through inspiration. And it's arranged in such a way, you then copycat it into your laptop, it becomes a lecture. So every week it will come down. Not punctually, sometime early, sometime late, but it will come down. And that will be your lecture for every week, with the references given, with the pictures shown, what to add in and all that. So your mind becomes a madrasa, a school, a place, open 24 hours, I could say 25 hours, to receive the inspiration of what to teach every week, So it's very difficult to OBE or astral traveling, even though occasionally could do it, but not all the time because of this communion, the coming down of this inspiration, what to teach. I think this slowly also now, my learned friend, Mr. Padeka, and from Malaysia, Chong, I think they can confirm what I've gone through. Yeah? These are the things that grounded me, and only on occasions I could then do OBE or astral traveling, but not like the 12 years, anytime I can do it. So to be a Sufi, to me, that was the best time of my life. And then when you are selected or elected or chosen, then your life you become the apparatus of God, apparatus of the Lord, the instrument of the Lord, the puppet of the Lord. You have to surrender yourself to Him and let Him lead you whatever He wants you to do. And that is those who fall under the elect or the chosen one. But as I say, there's no problem if you are Sufi. As I say, that was the best period of my life, 78 to 1990. No burden, no stress, nothing. On my own, aloof, remembering the Lord, worship, freedom, free, nothing, just 24 hours with the Lord, And not to worry about the surrounding, not to worry about people, just with the Lord. Happy, OBE, astral traveling, all this, spiritual experiences, all that during that time. And nobody knows you. And that was the best part. So even I'm lecturing on these elects, don't worry. If you become Sufis, as I say, that was the best part of my life. But if you are selected, as the Prophet said, once he's given a task, and if you ask him to not to carry out the task, even you put the sun on the right hand and the moon on his left hand, he still will continue to do the task, to perform the task. Same like us. He will continue to perform the task. My mother, my late mother, came to see me at the earlier part of my task. He said, "You are a lawyer. What the hell you want to be a Ustadz?" I remember that. And you'll be arrested by the authority and put in jail, Why you want to be Ustadz? You are a lawyer. Then I told my late mother, and she was crying. Mother, love your son. She was crying. She said, "Don't do all this. You are not an Ustadz. You are a lawyer." And I told her, "Look, Mom, I went to Hajj. Spiritually, I was invited to see the Holy Prophet. And he asked me, he arranged this knowledge in me and asked me to teach. I cannot back out, Mom. I'm sorry, I just could not back out from this." And that was in 1990, And I continue from house to house, then the mosque, from mosque, and then to the public at large. And 2009, it became international. International, being invited here and there. The first one to be invited was Australia. We were there about 2-3 years in Australia, and then other countries. It was a task to undertake and to follow up. There's no backing out. But as I stress again, the best part of my life was the time when I was a Sufi, no tasks, no burden, free, and I'm already cleansed spiritually. I'm free to go out from my body, OBE and astral traveling or whatnot. Then once you are given a task, selected, chosen, you are grounded. Now this lecture, Grand Secret 5, there will be follow-up. This is the first part of it, of the elects. They will follow up next week and the week after that, so that you'll be clear the process and the journey of a Sufi. Okay, so you don't befuddle or confuse the journey that we have to undergo. Okay, you can see from A to Z. But as I say, the best part of my life is being a Sufi. So if you are Sufi, even though you are not selected or chosen or what, it's all right. Okay. And the Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani say, the highest level of the Sufi who is selected is the one who is given the task to teach the knowledge of God. That's what the Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani said. That is the highest level of a Sufi if he's selected to teach the knowledge of God. And this Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani said, and this elected people, elected persons, or elected Sufis, or we call them the elects, they are just like deputy prophet. Deputy prophet. They cannot be prophet, but the last was prophet, or only Prophet Muhammad. So these elects who are teaching the knowledge of God, they are like deputy prophet. The highest level of the elects, according to Sheikh Abdul Qadir, are those who teach the knowledge of God. Because 124,000 prophets sent to the world from Adam until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the main function or the main object is to let their people know about God, the only one God, and to worship Him. To worship. So Ibn Abbas, a well-known translator of the Quran, and Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani had both of them had said that the verse in the Quran, I create jinn and mankind to worship me, meant to be, I create jinn and mankind to know me. To know me. Because you know Him first, then you worship Him. That was the translation of tafsir of Ibn Abbas, famous translator, and Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani. And therefore, Imam Ghazali said that before you worship, you must know who you worship. It's obligatory, you must know who you worship before you worship the one that you worship. So, Sheikh Abdul Qadir said the highest level of the elect is the one who teach the knowledge of God, and therefore the saying say, or the hadith said, ulama waristul anbiya. That means the scholars are the benefactor or beneficiary of the prophets. So who are these scholars? These are the Sufis. Their main task is to teach the people to know God and worship the only one God, similar to all the prophets. That is why it is said, Awaluddin Ma'rifatullah. The first thing in religion is to know Allah or to know God. And we are the Sufis, the elects, who are teaching the Ummah only one subject, the knowledge of God. Knowledge of God. We don't talk on other things. For example, Islamic criminal law, Islamic law of evidence, Islamic property law, Islamic law as a general. We only teach one, the knowledge of God. So those who have been with me from 1990 until now, 30 years, they learn only one, knowledge of God. So everyone who follow the lecture, inshallah, will learn better about God. Allah, the only one God. Qul Wallahu Ahad. Say there's only one God. That's the God that we worship. And that is the task of the elect. Okay? So let's see who are the elects, and these are the given in the Quran. Moses asked, "O Lord, among the dwellers of paradise, who is the most lofty?" Allah replied, "Those who have chosen by my hand have had implanted dignity in them, and I awaiting for them. I've stored that which eyes have never seen, nor even heard by any ears, nor even their heart can even imagine." So these are the ones that were chosen by God, given the task, I've implanted dignity, given the task to carry out, and paradise waiting for them. We see again, as for the true believers, it is they in whose heart he has inscribed faith, and whom he has strengthened with inspiration from himself, and whom in time he will admit into gardens. As I say, so once you are selected, your mind become a garden of or a school or garden for inspiration, okay, for you to carry out your tasks. He will admit into garden through which, and God say, you carry out your function given, and paradise will await for you. That is what Allah said. And you can see here, faith is a seal whereby God seal his elect, which seal he gave to his messenger Muhammad. So the elects have a seal from the prophet. God shall give unto his messenger a book, and inside the books are the name of the elects. And in the hereafter, God shall instruct the prophet, the messenger, holy prophet Muhammad, to open the books and read the name therein. So he will call on the angel and the prophets and all the elect, and on the forehead of each one shall be written the mark of the messenger of God, and they all be in paradise. This is a description about the elects. We don't go for the paradise, be it paradise, be it, don't go into it. But look at that, the point that you are inspired, you are given the task, you must carry that out. Paradise is another thing. Okay, so once you are elect, you have to carry out what you are chosen to do. And I say, the Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani said, the lofty task, the highest task is to teach the knowledge of God. That is the highest level of an elect. So how the making of the elects? Okay. First, the knowledge, the vision, the level, the awakening, and the enlightenment. Let's see the knowledge first. And here, once a person is slated by Allah to be the good ones, there's a chosen one. Allah will grant him a deep understanding on religious knowledge. He will be given, guided, inspired, and taught in depth about the religion. It will come to you. The spiritual world, the spiritual secret open to you. And you become learned in that line. Okay? You can see here, if you really have the knowledge of God, verily it will teach you a knowledge that you will never ever be ignorant. Once you are chosen, you'll be guided deep into the knowledge of God. Those truly fear Allah among His servants are they who have knowledge for Allah. Knowledge for Allah is exalted and might off forgiving. So these are talking about the elect or the chosen one. So first, the knowledge keep on coming to you. You are inspired many a time, countless time. The knowledge, new knowledge come in, new understanding come in to your mind. When you read the Quran, new meaning come to you, new frontier come to you. A lot of things that previously you could not perceive, now you can perceive because of the guidance from the Lord. So your knowledge become more and more. And when you read books, you read the hadith, you read the Quran, you can see many things that others don't. Well, you have to see all this to guide others to be a Sufi. There are many verses in the Quran. I'm the manifest, I'm the hidden. I'm the subtle, and I'm encompassing all. Right? I'm the exalted, I'm vast and so on. Many. I'm seeing, I'm hearing all this. These are the words that if you don't have the knowledge, you cannot fathom the meaning behind these words. As Jesus said, don't look at the word, look at the understanding behind the words. So once you are selected, you are chosen. When you read the Quran, the understanding behind these words, the frontier is open. You become knowledgeable in relation to the mighty Lord. Become knowledgeable. You can guide people because the door to enlightenment of these words are open to you. You can make people understand the knowledge of God. Okay, so the first thing is, if you are chosen, the knowledge will come to you. And not come one or twice, no. It will come constantly to you. You are being driven to read the Quran, inspired, driven to read the Quran, to read the Hadith, to read books of well-known Sufi writers. And understanding come to you. No need for people to explain. The understanding come to you. What this person want to say? What is verse meant to be? What is this hadith meant to be? In the sophistic vision, you can see the knowledge will come to you because you have to guide people to understand the knowledge of God. That is number one, when you are chosen. Number two, the vision. Thou wast heedless of this. Now we have removed thy veil, and sharp is thy sight these days. Wherever you turn, there is Allah's countenance. 24 hours. your spiritual vision acknowledge the existence of the Lord, the container. 24 hours. Okay, you acknowledge. Okay. So you sleep, you wake up, there, you're looking at him, and he's looking at you. This consciousness all the time that make you shudder, shiver, cries, At the same time, adore the Lord, our Lord. He changed you. It's like a thief knowing fully well the policeman is watching him. He will behave himself. Same. This vision of your vision. You can see, you can feel his existence. See means spiritually, his existence. You can feel his existence. You can see his existence even though you didn't see him physically, but you know he's there. Everywhere you turn, you know you are looking at him. And he's looking at you. You have the primary vision, the Marifat vision. So 24 hours, the vision of the existence of God or the container encompasses you. And that's what makes you, again, shiver, shudder, cries. The consciousness of the existence of the Lord, that you cannot escape from him. There's no space that he did not encompass. He encompassed even space and time. Okay? Places, space, time encompassed by him. You cannot escape the subtle. Subtly he encompasses even yourself. So this realization make you shiver, cries. At a time, shaking your bodily shaken for the fear of the Lord. So your eyesight's spiritually different. 24 hours, your spiritual vision knows that you are looking at the Lord, the container, and the container is looking at you. 24 hours. And that again changes you. Okay? So not only the knowledge, the vision, spiritual vision change, then the level. And that's what Sheikh Shah Waliullah wrote, that one who have the knowledge of God is capable of worship at the level of ihsan. What is ihsan? You can see here. Ihsan is worship as if you see him. If not, then know that he sees you. So you wake up, you could spiritually acknowledge the existence of God. Acknowledge that you're looking at the existence of the container. Acknowledge that the container is looking at you. And that is a level of ihsan. So number one, you have the knowledge. Number two, you have the vision. Number three, okay, you are at the level of ihsan. You see him, he see you spiritually. You see his existence. He sees you also. So You see him, he see you, and that is ihsan. So the level of the elects, they are at this level. And this is the level that the tariqat was teaching their disciple. They call it rabita. In order to reach this level, you visualize your murshid or your teacher. Your teacher visualize his teacher. His teacher visualize his teacher until reach the prophet. The prophet went to night ascension, Mi'raj, and he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, if you worship, you follow this style, you have reached the level of ihsan. It's really out of the world. It's easy. We have the knowledge. You know you are looking at him, even though you didn't see him. And you know that he's looking at you. All right? It's just like this world is a one-way mirror. You can see him. He can see you from behind the mirror. Okay? But you know he's behind the mirror. So Shah Waliullah had said that all those elects, those who have the knowledge of God, the elects, they are at the level of ihsan. Next one, the awakening. Let it be known that divine existence is clear as crystal. My God, this one is not so easy as that. If you don't have this knowledge, how can the Lord is clear as crystal? Where? You sit here, let it be known that divine existence is clear as crystal. Where? You know, if you don't have the knowledge. And this Imam Ghazali said, but this required first and foremost the knowledge of God. Then you can see his existence is clear as crystal. If you don't have knowledge of God, you'll be turning around and look around you. Where? Okay. So you need the knowledge of God, and then you are awakened to his existence. The knowledge of God is derived from true consciousness. That's right. You must be conscious of his existence. And for the chosen one, the consciousness is 24 hours. Conscious. Where a person is truly conscious of his existence or absoluteness or exaltedness. You are conscious of this. Not only you can see him, but you're conscious of his existence, absoluteness, and exaltedness. Wherever you turn, there's him, absoluteness, exaltedness with greatness. You can feel it, conscious about it. Once the veil is lifted, the truth shall be seen as clear as crystal and without any doubt at all. So once you have the knowledge, you are chosen. You're no longer spiritually blind. Spiritually, you can see him, encompasses all the containers. As clear as crystal, without any doubt. Thou was heedless of this before you're blind. You're not aware. But once you become a Sufi and more you are selected, the chosen one, this becomes permanent, that the veil is lifted and sharp. Your eyesight, spiritual eyesight becomes sharp. Those who stand in awe of God, although he's beyond the reach of their perception. So even though we don't see him, but we still feel the tremor of standing in front of him. And he's looking at us. And that caused a tremor in us, shaking like earthquake, really like earthquake, shaking, because you stand in awe of the Lord. You conscious about his existence before you. When you're conscious of his existence before you, it causes a tremor in you, shaking and crying, before the Lord. Even though physically you don't see him. But because of the consciousness of his existence and looking at you, oh my God, the tremor is so great that you can't even stand. Your leg wobble and sit down and cry. That's the awe, who stand in awe of God. Okay. And when Allah will to have his servant better than the others, one of his servant better, when if you are chosen, he will feel his spiritual self. That means your spirit. Huh? Your spirit will be given the light of enlightenment and those with priority as well as blessings. And he will open the door of inspiration. As I told you, inspiration will come down. As well as honor him with consciousness. That not only the knowledge come down, but you conscious, standing in awe before his lordship. You really shaking. And thus awaken him from the slumber of the many. See? You could consciously feel his existence. And that shake you to the bone or to the core. Right? You awaken from the slumber of the many. Okay. And you can see again, verily he was sound asleep with others. We at one time were asleep, not feeling the existence of the Lord, not conscious of the existence of Allah. We were sleeping or even intoxicated like the others. But when this situation was lifted due to a powerful knock, we said, when the realization come in to you, it knock into you, you then become conscious of the truth. Then his heart is open and ready to be enlightened like that of others people. So once the realization that you are before the Lord, that consciousness open your heart. You accept the truth that you are before him, even though you can't see him. Then you are different. You have been enlightened. Your life will be different. And you are enlightened. You can see example, Balkis, the queen of Sheba. She went into the palace of Solomon. She saw the floor like a pool of water. So she lifted her dress a little bit to walk, don't want the dress to be wet. And Solomon said to her, hey, that is not water. But the Lord taught us the knowledge how to make the floor to appear like pool of water, like a deep pool. The Lord taught us this knowledge. Now, when Solomon said that, and Balkis saw the truth that the floor looked like a pond or a lake or fathomless expanse of water. Okay? She realized, hey, what Solomon had shown her is beyond the world. This knowledge, therefore, must be true. He is the prophet of God. This knowledge is given to him by God, because at that point of time, nobody in the world can do that. No, the deep realization make her realize that God exists. And that realization went into her, and she could consciously feel the omnipresence of the Lord. And therefore, then she became a believer. And mind you, she's a queen, you know. And by being a believer, because when she went to Solomon Palace, she's unbeliever. And when she became believer, she have to give up her kingdom. You know, it's a sacrifice. And she could not even go back to her realm, her kingdom. They will kill her because her subjects were mostly unbelievers. See the sacrifice. Once you're conscious of the truth, that's it. It was said unto her, enter the hall, and when she saw it, she deemed it a fathomless expanse of water. And bare her legs. She did not want a dress to be wet. Solomon said, lo, it is a hall made smooth of glass. She said, my Lord. That means she, oh my God. Because Solomon had explained to her this knowledge was given to him by Allah. And she was so taken aback. She said, yes, this knowledge must be from the Lord. No human being can do this. And that realization knocked into her. She then consciously feel that she's before the Lord. And that make her change. My Lord, she said, she feel that she's now before Allah. The sudden realization, the impact of it, makes she felt that she was before Allah. I say, oh Lord, oh Allah, oh I've wronged myself, oh Allah. I surrender with Solomon unto Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And the sacrifice she made a kingdom, and she could not return back to the kingdom. She will be assassinated because the kingdoms was mostly unbelievers. So see, the consciousness, the realization that the knowledge that Solomon showed her was cannot be man-made. It must be from the Lord. That trigger the consciousness, the realization of the existence of Allah, and she become believer. Sorcerer of Pharaohs. Here again. When Moses showed to Pharaoh his miracle, Pharaoh summoned his noble people, asked them to get the best sorcerers in his kingdom to fight against Moses. So they got the best of the best sorcerer, the group of sorcerers, the best in the kingdom, who were at the outset very confident they can win. Because they have never heard about Moses being a sorcerer. They say, nothing to do with the guy. Moses, we could win him hands down. That kind of situation. Because never heard of Moses. Whereas they are famous sorcerers in the kingdom. So when their sorcery met Moses' gift from God, from Allah, that means they threw their sticks and become snakes, and Moses threw become a white snake and swallowed all their snakes. They were shocked. How come this unknown man, never heard of his sorcery, can beat us? the most notable, famous, unbeatable sorcerers in the kingdom. Then they remember what Moses said, my Lord is greater than you. And that made them wobble, their knee wobble. They fell to the ground and they acknowledged that through what Moses said, that only God, his God, can work and can defeat us, can defeat them, could defeat them. So all of them bow down their head to the floor and acknowledge this. And they say, we believe in the Lord of the universe. Because only God could defeat them. No human being in their frame of mind could defeat them because they are the best in the kingdom. So when they were defeated, what Moses say, my Lord is greater than you. It sink it. It knocked into them is their consciousness to accept that yes, only God can defeat us. And Moses too must be the prophet of God. So they bow down their head and confess to believe in Allah. And when they were killed by Pharaoh, but it did not matter. They pray, oh Lord, for their well-being in the hereafter. They're not worried they will kill you. The consciousness that changed the sorcerers of Pharaoh, okay, they were enlightened. And you can see Abraham also. You see the stars. He saw the star, he saw the moon, he saw the sun. He thought these are the Lord. But when they disappeared, he saw a system. At night, the stars and the moon rise up. Daytime, they were gone. And the sun come out. At night, the sun gone. And he saw a system. If there's a system, then someone has put in the system. And he believed that is God. Because it's a big system. Only God, the Almighty, could handle it. So straight away, he said, you can see here, this is my Lord, this is the greatest of all. See, then it went down. He said, oh, my people, most certainly I'm quit of those whom you associate with Allah in his divinity. That's when he saw the sun was set, the moon set, the stars set, he realized Allah is the only one who is divine. Okay? The consciousness enlightened him to the existence of the Almighty. So you can see Queen of Sheba, you can see you can see the sorcerer of Pharaoh, you see Abraham, and many others. The realization of the consciousness of the truth enlightened them to the Lord, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So these are part and parcel of the chosen one. They have knowledge, they have vision, they have the level, and then they have the awakening. The awakening. We've seen the 3 examples. Then with the awakening, the enlightened, they become enlightened. So when they see everything before their eyes, all that exists diminish, perish, demise, annihilated, and only they see the container. Everywhere you turn, there is my container. Okay? They are enlightened. Okay? No more blind. All that live on earth or in heaven will perish. They annihilated. All in heaven and earth, everything. Even the law, mahfuz, everything, even the essence, they annihilate. And they see with the primary vision or the marifat vision, the container of the mighty Lord. So wherever they turn, they see the container of Allah. On the earth are signs for those of urgent face, also in your own self will ye not then see. So even when they look at themselves, the look of all surrounding them, space and time included, they annihilate, they banish, demolish, okay? And what they see, the existence of the container, okay? So you see here, if you ask them when they are at the market or city center, as what they are seeing, they will say, we see nothing. Okay? We see nothing. They demolish everything before their eyes. Annihilate before their everything before their eyes. Yes, they are seen as looking at the merchandise in the market or city, but in reality, their inner eyes see them not, but rather the container of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these are the men who neither trading nor commerce distract them from God's remembrance. At this point, I want to highlight a bit. Once you are chosen, you become 24 hours near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing distracts you. 24 hours. That's what I experienced from 1978 to 1990. 24 hours you could feel the distance. There's no distraction once you are chosen. Okay? Of course, you become slightly different from normal. You are more to yourself, quiet, mind your business, that kind of thing. And you will say, surely my prayer, my worship, my life, my death are all for Allah. When you are that state, you totally surrender. Okay? And the effect of this, what is the effect of this on you? Okay, first, your heart is cleansed. And this is one thing I can tell you. The difference between the chosen and those not chosen. For the chosen one, their heart, their spiritual heart, immediately cleanse. They don't need to do a lot of meditations or worship or whatnot, because they are chosen. Immediately, their heart is cleansed. Clean, clear. My friend told me, hey, you change 360 degrees, you know, my colleagues in my institutions of study in Malaysia. They saw, hey, you change 360 degrees, you know. Your heart cleansed, and my father said, hey, your iman is very high. You know, your heart is cleansed, automatically cleansed of all the nonsense that you had before, all the rubbish, the baggage, and whatnot, all thrown out from you. It's like an acid coming down and burn your inner self. Clean, totally clean. Once you are enlightened, Allah will refresh you with new vigor and strength. It's a new, totally new life. My siblings saw me and say, our brother is now very, very weak. So when my late grandmother was to put to rest in the grave, my father said, called my name and say, your late grandmother had willed that you should let her body rest in the grave. She wants you. And my sibling objected, no, he can't do it. He's very weak. I'm not weak, but they saw I'm weak. So my father said, could you do it? I said, yes, I can. I could. So I went down and put her body in the grave. No problem. But because you change, you are no longer yourself. Allah refresh you with a new vigor and strength. And your heart is only occupied by Allah. There's no others but Allah, only your heart. You are cleansed from all except Allah. Once you are chosen, you'll be cleansed, totally cleansed. Okay? And your heart will be clear of all nonsense that you had before. And the awakening heart could remember Allah continuously. You know? And that's another very strange thing. All the time you could remember him, all the time, you know. Once you are chosen, cleansed, your heart would remember Allah all the time. See? In your mind, have only the remembrance of Allah. And that's what the Prophet had said. My eyes sleep, but not my heart. And Aisha, radiallahu anha, his wife, has said that the Holy Prophet constantly remember Allah. And remembering Allah is a lighted candle in the dark of the night. Yeah, once you were chosen, this remembrance of Allah 24 hours you can remember him. I'm telling the truth, I cannot explain how, but it's there. Your mind is always not only cleansed, but you can remember him all the time. It's like a lighted candle in the dark of the night. Yeah. And what Jesus said, well, just as there are two kinds of sleeping, viz. That of the body and that of the soul. Even so, must you be careful in watching that while the body sleep, but the soul should not. For if your soul sleep, this would be a grievous error. That's why I say it's strange. Once you are chosen, your mind could remember Allah all the time because it's cleansed. You know? And therefore your soul didn't sleep, only your body. And that also explains why you can all be astral traveling and whatnot. You know? And Jesus said again, the sleep of the soul is forgetfulness of God. As God lives, in whose presence stands my soul, it's lawful to sleep somewhat every night, but it's never lawful to forget God. Okay. So that you can remember Allah all the time, and then you regain the innocent loss because your mind is cleansed. Your spiritual mind is cleansed. And your mind is always filled with remembrance of God. So there is no nonsense in your mind. No nonsense in your mind. Okay. So you will get back your innocence. You will help many people, including of the other side, I mean the females. You help many of them, male or female. But there is no inclination or waywardness. It is through to the Almighty, your assistance given to all these people, who some of the female may think differently, but we know we have sincerely and nothing more to it, you know. And many were shocked that you went to the great extent to help them, and yet nothing more to it. It's just because of Allah, and you are enlightened. Out of your sheer virtue and goodness, you do it. There's no inclination of anything. Purely, you do it purely because you are pure, nothing more. Okay? And that is the thing, because you have got your innocence back. The innocence that we lost as we matured, you regain back the innocence. Okay? And that's where we can see Adam and Eve had slipped from this innocence. But Satan made them slip and remove them from the innocent state they were in. And once they are removed from this innocence, then they saw that both of them are naked, were naked. And as soon as the two had tasted the fruit of the tree, they become conscious of their nakedness. And they began to cover themselves, piece together, leave from the garden. You see this verse. That means Adam and Eve were naked in the Garden of Eden. But they did not notice this. They did not notice this at all, because their mind were cleansed. No nonsense, clear. Their minds were cleansed, pure. They don't see this nakedness. It doesn't strike them about this. They never were, until they ate the forbidden fruits. Then they were conscious of their nakedness. Then they have to cover themselves with leaves. So cleanse your mind, Shaykh Abdul Qadir say. Cleanse your mind, because if it's clean, so will be your conduct. Yes. That's why I say, hey, dirty mind, yellow-minded. That is the mind. Dirty mind, dirty old man, yellow-minded. Oh, obsessed with, your mind obsessed with nonsense. The mind. But once you are chosen, you are cleansed, your mind also become clean, you get back your innocence. Because every infant born innocent. But his parent made him Jewish, Christian, or pagan. And in other words, the Satan make him wayward. You see, when you are born, the innocent there. There's a boy, male and female, sleep together. The innocence was there. When we grew up, the innocent lost. Okay? You want to get back the innocent, you have to be a Sufi back. You have to be a Sufi, and you have to try your utmost to clean yourself, cleanse yourself. But if you are chosen, then it's easier for you to cleanse yourself and regain your innocence. And then the accompanied teardrop, because you always at awe facing God here, facing Allah. And all the time we could feel His existence. We stand at awe facing Him. And then make us shudder, tremble, cry. You know, at the beginning when I got this thing, this knowledge, this enlightenment, I constantly cry for 4.5 months, I can remember. And after that, I do cry intermittently. And even now, I do cry. Okay? So these teardrops are common thing for those who have the realization of the existence of the Almighty, looking at Him, and He's looking at the Almighty. Okay? You see their eyes overflowing with the tears for what they recognize of the truth, that they are looking at the Almighty even though they didn't see. All before Him is just a one-way mirror where the Lord from the other side looking at Him, but He can't see the Lord. But the Lord looking at Him, and He knew that He's looking at the Lord, but though He didn't see. There's a level of a son. He recognized the truth. They say, oh, our Lord, we believe, so write us with the witness. I mean, you witness that you are looking at Him, and He's looking at you, the level of a son. And there you see, I'm seeing you, oh Lord, and he cried, oh my God, oh, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you, oh Lord, and he cried. We cannot escape here, no? You turn and, oh, I'm seeing you, Lord. And the tears start falling. Okay? And this is normal. Okay? And with that, your desire to be pious, desire to worship Him, become greater in you. The strength comes. Okay? Remember, God give you the vigor and strength. Now you could wake up at night to the night worshiping. Now you can fast every day, except the 5 days which were prohibited. You could do that. Now you can read the Quran. Now you can do charity. Now you can live moderately. Now you can hold on to the Sharia. And then you are really fearful of the Lord. At the same time, 24 hours, you keep on remembering Him, continuously remembering Him. And that's the beauty of it. Continuously, the piety. Okay? He gave you the strength to do all this before you can. But now you can do all this worship. And that's why I've only created jinn and men that they serve me. Okay? After he knows Allah, he will start learning how to enhance himself in the act of worship. There's no other way for you to get close to me. So apart from the obligatory worship, you also got the strength now to do the non-obligatory worships in addition to the obligatory worships. And this will eventually earn you my affection, Allah said. Now you can wake up at night, worship Him. Daytime you fast, read the Quran and so on. And you see this companion of our Prophet, Harithah, spend his night in worship and his days in fasting, culminating to his feeling of seeing the divine throne protruding from the sky. At night he will spend time worship Allah. They call it night prayers. Daytime he fast. And then he could feel, he felt that he could felt the throne of Allah in the sky, could feel it. And what the Prophet say? Harithah, you have achieved a solid understanding of faith, and that you should continue be steadfast in your act of worship. These are people who have been chosen, who got the enlightenment, and you can see the strength, the inner strength Allah gave to them to carry out all the worships, be it obligatory, non-obligatory, and so on, just to be near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then your heart shines, okay? Shines. So when your heart shines, remember when I guide you to remember Allah, I say, remember Allah in your mind, Allah, and then focus. Once you reach that level, you focus, you saw bright light inside your mind. That I had to lower my eyes not to look up, because too bright inside the heart, inside the spiritual mind or the spiritual eye. Bright as this, and you just could not put up your eyes to look up. You just remember with your eyes, your spiritual eyes down, just remember. You cannot focus too bright. And this is what Sheikh Abdul Qadir said. At that time, there will appear light from your inside and manifest itself on your outside. Then your face will shine. The aura, you can see from outside. In the manner of the light of a lamp, which is in a dark night, appearing through its orifices and loopholes, and the outside of the house illuminated by the light of the inside. So your inside light, the aura can be seen outside. One day shall thou see the believing man and the believing woman, how their light runs forward before them, the aura. Okay. Now, when this happened, I'm talking about my experience. When this happened, you can easily obey. But that means you are totally cleansed. You can instruct your soul to leave your body, and you can sit on the cloud if you want to obey, or you can go astral traveling where there is a direction, or you want to be in Mecca, so you direct pinpoint where you want to be, and then your spirit will go to the direction. And then at times, the veil lifted from the spiritual eyes, and you can see through the spiritual eyes, you can see the unseen. The limitation is you are looking through the hollow of your eyes, physical eyes. That's the limitation. Which is different from, you see, for here, the veil is lifted, you are looking through your physical eyes, the limitation. Whereas the third eyes, you can see a third eyes here. This one, no limitation. Even though you don't turn your head, you can see all around you. That is the third eyes. Now, I'll tell you my experience. For the spiritual eyes, I don't see it constantly. But as and when Allah wants me to see, I can see. For example, when the evil ones want to attack me, then Allah lift the veil and I could see them and fight them. There were many, many occasions this had happened. So only when they want to attack me, this veil was lifted. That is my spiritual self. Or if Allah wants me to see something special, something extraordinary, like in Mecca, there's certain thing I could see, or even in this country or any country, if Allah wants me to see something extraordinary or special I could see. But I don't see it all the time. As and when Allah wants me to see, I will see. Or when the evil ones want to attack me, Allah will lift the veil and I can defend myself. That is my spiritual experience. Now, let me tell you about the third eyes from my spiritual experience. This is the most difficult to obtain and difficult to maintain. You must really, not only 100% remember him, and you cannot move the meditation 100%. Don't move, remember him. And then you must feel the tremor inside you. This tremor that push your spirit from the heart, or your soul from the heart. Push it up to your throat, push it up in between your eyes, go inside your brain, and then a window is open. There you see the window, the yellow one. And from there, your minuscule soul will come out. And you can see all around you. This is more difficult to achieve regularly, very, very difficult, and also difficult to maintain. But you achieve it once or twice or more, that to me is already very good. The third eyes. This is the third eyes. And after all that, you become aloof until you be given a task. We are going to talk about the task next week. We talk about being aloof first. So once you are like that, you are not the same like as other people. You are totally different. Your eyesight all the time just precise with Allah. Your mind is cleansed. You have no wickedness in you. Everything drained out. You are just instrument of Allah, a puppet, like a football at the feet of the soccer player. You are just become the instrument of Allah. You don't harbor your personal interest or what, nothing. If not, he will test you and test you until you become like a broken jar. We see that later. But once you are enlightened, you'll be aloof, different. Okay? You see Khidir. Nobody knows him. Nobody. He just travel here and there. Nobody knows him. Even Moses did not know him, whereabout. Only when Allah pinpointed the place, then Moses met him. Otherwise, you don't know where is he. Okay? See? So they found one of our servants on whom we have bestow mercy from ourselves, and whom we have taught knowledge from our presence. Okay? How he found here? Moses' servant say, would thou believe it? When we walk near that rock and we rest there, I forgot to tell you that the fish we were taking along in our basket had jumped up and disappeared. So Moses said, oh, that must be the place where the Lord told me, or I was informed by the angel, I could meet Khidir. Okay? So nobody knows where is Khidir even today. But Moses, Allah pinpointed the place where your fish jump out from your basket that you carry the fish. There's a place, the Khidir will be there and learn you from him. But of course, Moses will strictly Sharia. So he objected many times to the conduct of Khidir. One of it, killing the young man, the young boy. Secondly, destroy people's property. These two he could not accept. He said, these are wrongdoing, which is very heavy wrongdoing. How can you do that? So he applied Sharia to Khidir. Khidir say, how can you be patient when you don't understand this? So this is the separation, you and me. You have to go your way, I go my way. He did. He has the knowledge taught by Allah. We are taught knowledge. See? And where is he there? Nobody knows. Aloof. See? It's not like tariqat, you can see the bullshit everywhere, but not Sufi. Sorry, this one was in the Malay. This one, person. Oh, it's a Malay also, sorry. This is a cave dweller, the dwellers of the Kafi cave. They want to escape because the government of that day, they were scheduled or compelled to regard the ruler as a god. So these young people, young men, they were advisors of the ruler. They could not accept this. So they ran and prayed to Allah, Allah, protect us and our knowledge. And Allah said, be you at that cave. So we stayed in that cave and he put to sleep, Allah put them to sleep for 309 years. They slept there. And later on they wake up. So for us also, you have the knowledge. If you are not asked to teach, just keep it. Keep quiet. Don't do anything. Keep on, be truthful to Allah until the day you are appointed. Otherwise, just continue your worship of Him, truthful and honest to Him and so on. Like the dweller of the cave of Kahfi. And the time comes you have to teach. You teach. For example, I told you 78 to 1990. I'm just not doing anything. I'm just like the dwellers of this grave, Kahfi. Not teaching, nothing. Relax. But still continue with my worship, closeness to Allah and so on. You can do that also. We are aloof. People don't know us. Always Al-Qarnain. This is a person that the Prophet said, when I'm not around, on my demise, look for this person named Uwais Qarnain. Every caravan come into our place. Look for this person Uwais Al-Qarnain, because his supplication, his dua, Allah will always approve it. So look for this person and ask him to dua for you, supplicate for you to the Almighty. So every caravan came to the place, the Prophet passed away. They will check and they found finally West Granine who were looking after the sheep. Okay? And they asked West Granine to pray for them. These are the Abaka Omar Osman Ali. But he refused. He said that I only dua for all the world, not individual. And he also said, I do not think that enlightened person will feel comfortable spending his time with other than God. They are aloof. It's called aloof, which make me come to a point. I'm afraid if I'm not around, many of you will be aloof. Okay, that's I could say. Now we are together. Maybe what God showed to me, I'm the magnet that pull all together. But I'm not around. Many of you will draw back or disperse. But I want to remind, we have this Yamas. Yamas, the foundation. It was set up mainly to put us all together instead of dispersing throughout the world. We have one umbrella under Yamas, and they have the family running it, they appointed. That is the Mas Agus and the wife Tuti and the family. They have been given to look after this Yamas. Like Kaabah, it was given, the key was given to a certain family, and they are the keeper of the Kaabah. And this family is given the key, they're the keeper of Yamas, Indonesia. So don't run away. Come back under the umbrella of Yamas if I'm not around. Okay. Now, if you are not appointed, if you are not given the task, please remember this. If you are not given the task, please do a lot of worship. Do not slack, because you have not given the task, and therefore you are not cleansed as yet. Continue your worship. Don't slack. Because if you slack, the drawback is you will slip out of the innocent. You will go back, revert back to your old self. If not your old self, but you will revert back at least to 40% of your old self. That's not very good. Yes. So, even you are not chosen, continue your worship. Be ardent, steadfast, vigor, continue. Don't worry about being appointed, not appointed. You already got the knowledge. Continue your worship of Him, obligatory and non-obligatory. Don't slack. You slack, you may slip out of your innocence. And then there may be problem when you do things. There always seem to be something that you want personally. Now, once you have achieved the enlightenment, you are chosen, you have achieved the enlightenment, God will invite you. Oh, those believers, their heart at peace in remembering Allah. Remember, by remembering Allah, the heart is at peace. So Allah said, God, that those who constantly be with Allah, remember Him all the time, and doing all the worship, whether obligatory or non-obligatory, to back up this, they become at peace. Okay? And his heart is filled with only Allah. He has thence entered into the illustrious divine congregation. That means once you are chosen, you are invited. Once you keep on your worship and zikrullah, remembering Him, you become cleansed and so on and so on. Allah will invite you to be in His divine congregation because you are at peace now and your heart is tranquil. So He says, but art thou spirit at peace, return into thy Lord. You are invited. What then is good pleasure? Enter them together with my other true servant. Yes, enter thou my paradise. So once you are selected, You will join them. Those who are distracted or the elected will join the elects, and you will enter the realm of tranquility, Sakina. The realm of Sakina is less. You feel above you a wonderful kingdom, very tranquil, and you are in there, tranquil, very tranquil. The important thing of this, in reality, tranquility and happiness are the result of direct communion with Allah, the most gracious and most benevolent, totally surrendered to Him and submission to His will. Now, the importance of Sakina, this tranquility, realm of tranquility of Alam Sakina, the importance is this, see. Satan say, by your glory, I will certainly mislead them all, except thy servants amongst them, sincere and purified by thy grace. And these are the people with this realm of tranquility. There, Satan could not touch them. They are protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Satan accepted. These are the servants I cannot attack because they are sincere and purified by the grace. Beware. Now, once you are in this realm of tranquility, you are now in the palace of the Almighty, most exalted. Be careful with all your actions, as you are now close to the King, and as such, danger is just close by. Be patient and accept the situation you are in. Do not try to do things on your own. That means you can stay in this wonderful world of tranquility. You feel very tranquil, calm, solid. And that reminded me, I could sit hours and hours like a Japanese sitting on their legs. So hours and hours without feeling the pain once you're in this state. But now I would advise all of you, don't follow this. Find a way that are comfortable and you still can continue remembering it, because I did this and now I have problem with my legs. Okay, even doctor was confused. How come my blood flow inversely? They could not understand. I've been sitting this way for hours and hours during that time. Okay, but for you all, don't do this. Sit comfortably. Okay? So don't jam your blood flow, whatnot. Okay? So be patient, accept the situation you are in. Do not try to do things on your own or in accordance with your desire. That means stay there, be happy, be calm, and all that. You have not given the task yet. Sit there, be happy. Go and OBE, go and astral travel. Don't do anything yet because you have not given the task yet. So hence virtue means to protect, accept the situation you are in now. So you've already been invited, you are in the realm of tranquility. Stay there. That was the beautiful part of my life. No task given, no worry, nothing. A beautiful world. Be contented with the position you are in now until Allah upgrades you. To us means you are ill-mannered, and this will debase you as well as rendering you a loser. Thus you are told, be at your place and do not be disobedient until and when come divine direction as to your place, until you are given the task. Remain there. In short, you have become a respectable and having your own personality. Okay? So we stop there, and this is the first part. We shall continue next week, inshallah. I shall now go back to the coordinator of this, back to the coordinator.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Ustadz yang telah memberikan lengkap bagian pertama tadi ya. Sekarang masih ada waktu Pak Ustadz, kita mohon dibimbing kami untuk melakukan selama 10 menit. Ya. Silakan Pak Ustadz.
So 10 minutes. Remember Allah is very important. As you can see from my explanation, throughout, even you are in the realm of tranquility, continue remembering Allah. Okay? Apart from the obligatory and non-obligatory worship. Okay? Now remember, in your mind, Allah, focus, lock all sight, then steadfast. Bismillah.
Sudah 10 menit, Pak Ustadz.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah we meet again next week. Thank you to Pak Deka for taking over Bahayu tonight. We'll meet again inshallah. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.